Susan, it seems to me that the plan of the New World Order is to hollow out our country, to hollow out the middle class, to wipe out the middle class, and then create a feudal structure. So the next thing that may happen is an economic crisis. Do you have any thoughts on any of these topics, gun control that James brought up, or illegal immigration, the overall plan of the New World Order? I'd like to hear you comment on that.
Well, I've been doing some research into a group called the Council for National Policy. Has anyone heard of them?
Never heard of that.
Yes.
Good. A lot of people haven't, and it's unfortunate. And I've been researching them for the past month, every night. I've come up with an exorbitant amount of information, and some wonderful people have sent me some information to look through and vet to add to my pile. But when it comes to the returning of our country to a constitutional republic and what that means and what we're fighting for, the Council for National Policy, to me, is the missing link, the man behind the curtain, at least on the red team.
On the good team or the dark team?
Well, here's the interesting thing. They were founded in 1981 by Reverend Tim LaHaye, who is the co-author of the Left Behind series.
Really?
Paul Weyrich, who is a co-founder of the Heritage Foundation. Nelson Baker Hunt, who is the son of H.L. Hunt, the oil billionaire.
Oh.
And their biggest, also Eric Prince's mother, the founder of Blackwater, his mother, also put up money to start this organization, as well as the largest donor is Reverend Sun Myung Moon.
Now we're getting a little weird.
Yeah. He thinks that, Jesus didn't fulfill his mission, so he's here and everything's okay. And by the way, Sun Myung Moon was coronated on our Capitol Hill by congressmen and senators in the 80s.
Weird.
In a coronation ceremony where he was crowned Savior of the World.
Oh, my.
Yes. They are, from what I can see, and unfortunately their reach is so deep now, it's disgusting. But they have set the tone for the red team, the Republican, and every subgroup underneath it, the libertarian, the conservative, the right-wing extremist, the conspiracy theorist, the Tea Party, you name it, any of the different spin-offs from the Republican Party that you see is all, including that they had a hand in creating the militia groups that we see now, groups like Oath Keepers. They have a connection to the Las Vegas shooting that just happened with Amanda Miller.
And they're called the Council on National Policy.
Council for National Policy. Their website is cfnpcharliefrancisnancypaul.org. Now, their website is extremely difficult to navigate. My husband, who is a web designer and developer, downloaded their website because in order to search things on their website, they have it encrypted and encoded to where if you don't know what you're looking for, you're going to come up with item not found.
Really?
But I noticed when I did a Google search and I put information in or someone's name next to Council for National Policy, I was directed immediately to that page on the website. And when my husband downloaded their website and looked at the way that they coded the website, because he reads and writes code, he saw that they had coded it in that specific way, that if you use the search bar, you're not going to find as much information or access to the information that's actually in the site. You'd have to go outside it and use a search engine in order to get in.
Very interesting. So what do you make of this organization?
Well, here's what they said. When they started, the founders said that they were seeking to create a Christian conservative alternative to what they believed was the liberalism of the Council on Foreign Relations. However, they got a lot of their startup money, and 5 of their members, their founding members, were CFR. So there's no differential here. The CFR controls the blue team and the Democrats and all their propaganda, and the CNP controls the red team and the Republicans and all of their propaganda. And at the end of the day, It's just like Crossfire. You've got a CFR member and a CNP member, Pat Buchanan, sitting there talking about politics like they're not good friends and don't have lunch and show up at each other's kids' birthday parties.
So the Council for National Policy is somebody that's trying to take over the alternative movement or something?
No, they have completely set the tone, the agenda, the perspective, the stories, the angle, the agenda. They have, I can go over some of their members. The membership list is very frightening, and I haven't gotten all of their members. This is just the members that I found from information that I found, information that was given to me that I vetted. Some of the information that was given to me I couldn't vet, so I couldn't include it. So I can just go over a brief list of people, and it shocked me. It'll probably shock you and your listeners.
Thanks.
Let me go over some of the members, and again, this is just the ones that I found, that I vetted, that I know from as a journalist, that I saw the information to corroborate these names. So John Ashcroft, former U.S. Attorney General. Richard Allen, National Security Advisor under Reagan. Gary Bauer from Family Research Center. Armand Borgrave, journalist for the Washington Times. And by the way, Sung Young Moon created the Washington Times. Richard DeVos, who is the co-founder of Amway. James Dobson for Focus on the Family. We also have Jerry Falwell. Edwin Fuellner, who is the founder of the Heritage Foundation. That's two members of the Heritage Foundation. The Koch brothers and Koch Industries. Larry Klayman, who is the founder of Judicial Watch. Wayne LaPierre, who is the spokesman and CEO and president of the NRA. This person's name, I always mess up their last name, and I always apologize, so I'm apologizing again. Matt Mastroscani, producer of the Clinton Chronicles, if you've ever seen that film, and that is where we get the Clinton body count from.
The Clinton body count.
This is an account of people who have died mysteriously working for Hillary Clinton or Bill Clinton. And it comes out of the Clinton Chronicles, which is a film produced by a member of the Council for National Policy.
So this Council for National Policy, is it like the New World Order 2 or something like that?
Their job, and I will quote them, their mission statement includes, quote, to acquaint our membership with those in positions of leadership in our nation in order that mutual respect be fostered, to encourage the exchange of information concerning the methodology of working within the system, to promote our values and our ends sought by our individual members. If that doesn't sound like a propaganda group, I don't know what does.
James, do you have any comment on any of this?
It's another trilateral operation. If you can control your enemy's perception of opposition by co-opting them, this is what you do.
About this kind of thing a little bit, that there are groups that try to create these revolutions, for lack of a better word?
Oh, sure. There's the International Republican Institute, IRI.org. They have taken the blueprint that they received from the Optor movement in Serbia in 1998. It is the book From Dictatorship to Democracy, which is 198 Ways to Topple Your Government Using Nonviolent Resistance, written by Gene Sharp. And there's a PDF version of the book on my website, occupycorporatism.com. And this is the blueprint by which every manufactured revolution all across the globe, they've all used the same patterns, the same methodologies, the same iconology, the same printing on their posters, color scheme, the way in which they organize their protests, everything.
It's
even
so
giving away
predictable.
flowers.
It's
incredible. And so when you go to the IRI's website, you'll see how they are bringing democracy to other countries, and these happen to be countries that are having revolutions, including the Ukraine. The IRI, the National Endowment for Democracy, and USAID have all been funding, our money has been funding the International Republican Institute to go in there and give them democracy, which includes stability operations, a fake revolution, toppling of the government, stability operations with DynCorp and Blackwater, a PATSI or a transitional council, and the IMF and the World Bank loaning money and using natural resources as collateral for infrastructure.
So impressive, Susan. Very impressive.
I do my homework.
Yes, you do.
So, Susan, do you think that we're going to have some kind of economic crisis and then maybe a civil war after that?
Well, if the CNP has their way, they've been trying to get a civil war started for a very long time, in the last 20 years, and they've come really close the last couple of times here in the United States. If they have their way, they will have the civil war. That's what they want. They're using Christians and the Christian religion as their platform and radicalizing as many groups as they can possibly find and create groups like the Tea Party Patriots, the
and
Mark
like
Meckler.
The Christian Zionists, don't leave them out.
Oh, no. John Hagee, CBN, Pat Robertson is a member of the CNP. TBN, Jim Croce, who just passed away, or Crocher, I'm sorry, and Benny Hinn. Even Joel Osteen last week was talking about revolution, and he's 1 degree of separation away from the CNP.
Yeah.
So do you think people like John Hagee and this Joel Osteen, are they being manipulated, or do they know?
No, they're part of the CNP. They're members of the CNP. They know it.
So do you think their careers were kind of pushed along by these financial powers and put into these positions so that they could eventually lead the people of the U.S. into a civil war?
Of course.
Absolutely. Listen, let me read some more of the people that are on this list. Dr. Stanley Monteith.
What?
Yes.
Wait. You got to be kidding me. Not
No.
Stanley Monteith.
Yes, Dr. Stanley Monteith.
Good.
Jerome Corsi.
No, not Jerome Corsi.
Paul Craig Roberts.
What? Paul Craig Roberts? I was going to get him as a guest.
Kentucky Senator Rand Paul.
What?
Mitt Romney. The founder of Blackwater, Eric Prince. Pat Buchanan. Jim DeMint, president-elect of the Heritage Foundation. That makes 3.
I give up.
Steve Green, who is the president of Hobby Lobby Stores. He's important because he's the connection to the Las Vegas shooting and Amanda and Jared Miller.